Accordingly, it is the sentence of this court, Anson Bryant, that you serve a period of incarceration in state prison. Court hereby terminates your post-release control, and I am imposing the balance through November 15th of 2020. I believe that comes up to 623 days, according to the DRC's calculation. The court sentences you to prison on count 1, aggravated burglary, felony 1, for 8 years, and 3 years on the firearm specification. Court sentences you on count 3, aggravated robbery, felony 1, to a period of incarceration in state prison for 8 years, plus 3 years on the firearm specification. The court sentences you on count 6, weapons under disability, felony 3, for 36 months. And on count 7, CCW, felony 4, for 18 months. The court makes the 2 weapons charges, count 6 and 7, concurrent with each other and concurrent to all of the other charges, the offenses. However, the court makes the 2 F1s consecutive with one another. And therefore, the order of serving your prison time would be PRC time first, followed by the gun spec on count 1, followed by the gun spec on count 3, followed by count 1, followed by count 2, for a total of 22 years with credit for 231 days. The court determines that you have or will have the ability to
put you down. You know, you're 19. Do something with your life. Don't become a statistic.
Fuck your courtroom, you racist ass bitch! Fuck your courtroom, man! You racist as fuck! You racist as fuck! Nigga, 22 fucking years! Racist ass bitch! You ain't shit! Nigga, engaged Sturgeon, Lisa Sturgeon told me about that bullshit.
Actually, you know what? Remember when I said that you had some remorse?
You never gave me probation!
Wait a minute.
You never gave me a chance!
When I said that you had a certain amount of remorse, I was mistaken. The court determines that maximum imprisonment is needed, so it's 11 years on count 1 and 11 years on count 3.
You racist bitch! You ain't shit!
Manson, calm down, bro.
Let me have the courtroom, man!
Take him out. Hey, just take him out. Just take him out. Get out of
You
here.
racist! That shit bullshit!
Get out.
You racist as fuck!
Hey, take him out, please. Please take him out, please.
I love you, bro.
I love you, man. Don't
I love you, Jack.
So that's 28 years with credit for 231 days.
I don't want to hear it, man. Let me out.
Let's go.
Let me out.
Hold on.
I don't want to hear it.
Let's go.
Let me out.
Let him go.
Let me out.
Let's take him out.
Let me out, man. I swear to God, turn up this bitch.
Does counsel waive the client's presence for the remainder of the advisements I have to give?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can take them.
Yes, bitch. You are a gangster.
You want to go around the floor?
Hey, thank you, Dennis.
I love you.
Thank you, sir.
Court determines that the defendant has shown no remorse whatsoever. I was giving him remorse, a certain amount of remorse in mitigation of the sentence. The defendant has shown me that he has no remorse whatsoever, and therefore the court determines that maximum imprisonment is needed. He poses the greatest likelihood of recidivism.
Morning, it's people in the state of Michigan versus Gregory Miller. Ms. Morris, do we have any victim impact statement to be made today?
I believe it's attached to the PSI, Your Honor, other than that, no. Mr. Miller is no stranger to this court. I think the PSI does a good job in laying out a lot of his prior convictions. The biggest thing I noticed in here is, I would say almost all, if not majority of these, he was either on probation, parole, or bond when these occurred. I think that goes to show he is not a good candidate for any type of probation. He has several assaultive priors, including domestic violence as well as just assault and batteries. On top of that, other domestic violences which have been pled down. He's not done well on probation in the past. He has several violations ranging from, which I think goes to show that the recommendation is appropriate in this case. Other than his prior convictions, I would just like to focus the court on the victim impact statement. Although it's short, I think it's very powerful. And I know the police report does describe the injuries that the victim suffered in this case, but in my opinion, it does not do them justice. The photos of the victim's face and injuries are extremely disturbing to look at. For lack of a better term, Mr. Miller did beat the crap out of her. And while I understand that Mr. Miller's underlying issue is clearly his alcohol use, Mr. Miller is very kind and polite when he's sober, but he rarely stays sober. And when he's drunk, he is extremely violent. I think he's been a danger to this community for quite some time now. So I would ask the court to follow the recommendation and sentence the defendant to a prison term. Thank you.
Mr. Champion?
Thank you. This is a situation that really highlights the issue of substance use disorders. Mr. Miller was homeless at the time, as the prosecution has. When Mr. Miller is sober and away from alcohol, he's a very polite, helpful, and productive citizen of this community. Unfortunately, when you throw in the substance use disorder with homelessness, this is what we end up with.
In no means whatsoever did I intentionally try or mean to harm that woman. She is a fantastic person. She's a great human being and a wonderful woman. I hope she gets the help also that I need, and I'm going to use this time seriously, stay sober and do my best to stay sober.
Well, the law here is for domestic violence, and it's a third offense. Typically, a domestic violence starts out as a misdemeanor, possible by up to 93 days. But I'll tell you, what I'm looking here at is a domestic violence is any assaultive battery. For instance, if I were to push a person, that is domestic violence. If I were to punch a spouse, that would be domestic violence. This damaged her retina, gave her 2 black eyes, bruised a couple of ribs. She had a handprint on her right arm. And I do remember the pictures from this because it was a no contest plea. When it's a no contest plea, I get to look at the entirety of the report. I don't know if the guidelines here are adequate. I'll tell you, I looked here at your criminal history, and this is one of the longer ones I've seen. This is your 9th domestic violence. 9. You have violated bond, probation, and parole countless times. So, bond supervision doesn't work, probation supervision doesn't work, parole supervision doesn't work, going in and out of prison and jails hasn't worked. And at your age, and I'm going to say this, and I don't know how to say it other than just being honest, you have led a life, this is what I wrote down, a life of boozing and drugs since I was 8 years old. In fact, since you were 9 years old. You and I are roughly the same age. We're only a year and a half apart. So I look at this and I'm just, I hate to say it, but, and here's another thing I wrote down. You are a public drunk, right? Disorderly persons, drinking, drunk all the time in public, and nothing has worked. It's just your criminal history. There are 40 entries. And yes, I know some were dismissed, but 40 entries. You didn't pay for child support. I noticed this one, when you're on probation for failing to pay support, you're arrested on new domestic violence charges. So you drink, you're drunk, and you beat up people. So you got a heck of a benefit by the prosecutor's office, and I 100% believe they probably spoke to the victim. They got her permission to enter this plea. Wow. 14 to 58 months. I could have given you up to 5 years, but they brought it way down. Well, these guidelines are inadequate. I don't have to find substantial and compelling reasons to exceed them. I just have to now by law find that it's reasonable. And your prior history, I can't imagine any human being looking at this prior criminal history and think what my sentence is going to be is unreasonable. It's a life of drinking and beating up people. And I wrote down here, you are a danger to women. And there's no reason to think you're not going to get back out and do the same thing, because it is all you have done for a long time. So, well, I'm going to get this $68 state minimum fee, $130 crime victim break fund fee. I'm going to add $300 court cost, and because I don't know what else to do, I know what my prison term is going to be. I'm going to add $1,000 fine. Some judges will say, why? They're not likely to pay it. Every time I've seen somebody who appeals fines and costs and says it's too much, I haven't seen the appellate courts shoot it down yet. So I'm going to make you have to pay these before you can even get parole. Attorney fee, $300. No supervision fee. There's no DNA fee, nothing like that. And I'm going to sentence you to 36 to 60 months. I find that that's not only proportionate and reasonable, I almost think it's inadequate. So, and it does exceed the guidelines by just a couple months, by 7 months. I think that's a reasonable choice. It's lucky that it's not higher. So that's the sentence of the court. Stop beating up on people. All right, sorry, I take it back. Stop beating up on women. Alcohol daily, marijuana, and methamphetamine weekly. Yeah, let's hope you decide to stop doing it. And let's hope you decide to stop doing it. And you've also have been through domestic violence prevention, substance abuse treatment programs, advanced substance abuse treatment programs, and Catholic Human Services. Nothing's worked, so I'm just got to keep you away from people. I hope, though, you find sobriety, because you need it. And so does everyone else around you. We're adjourned.